Hello and welcome to this week's Women's Football Chat, your home for everything from the third and fourth tiers of women's football in England. That's the FA Women's National League. My name is Chris Gadsby. I'm here every Thursday at 6 p.m. to bring you the very latest from the FA WNL and the cup competitions that those sides are involved in as well. We've had plenty to talk about over the last 7 days or so. We've had League. We've had FA Cup, we've had weather that's played havoc with the FA Cup and basically has made everything very, very messy between now and Christmas. But I'll be here to bring you everything you need to know and keep you up to date. So we're going to start with a couple of bits of news, and firstly some good news. Well, in fact, it's two bits of good news. Firstly, you may remember a few weeks ago, towards the start of the season really, there was a bit of concern about the future of Gillingham when the financial backer had to pull out. Well, as of Tuesday, we have a club statement from owner and chairman Josh Oatham, who is delighted to announce that Kevin Hake, a local Medway businessman, will become the new owner and chairman of Gillingham Women Football Club with immediate effect. After conducting a thorough process lasting 2 months, which consisted of meeting a number of interested individuals, it was clear that Kevin was the best fit to take the club forward, and I'm pleased to welcome him into his new role. So Gillingham has a new owner and chairman in Kevin Hake, and he says that he's thrilled to announce, after a series of talks with Josh, that he also agreed to remain in charge of manager of the first team. This will provide a fabulous platform for stability and continuity as we look to continue building on the team's successes over recent seasons. I'm keen on inclusivity. This will allow the local community to watch Gillingham Women FC in Chatham. I'll be embarking on some exciting community initiatives that will encourage everybody to support Josh and our fantastic group of players. Now's the time to get behind your local team and get to know the players. Further details will be released across a variety of our social media platforms in the coming days. So, yeah, Gillingham has been saved. So the concern around that has now gone. That is kind of a bit of paraphrasing. That's a slimmed down statement. Full statements on the Gillingham Twitter account at Gills Women FC. If you want to read the full thing, I missed some paragraphs out just to kind of speed the show up ever so slightly. But yes, if you want to go and read the full statement, it's over on their Twitter. But it's great news for Gillingham. Of course, have been doing well this season as well. Right, other bit of good news coming out of the Football Supporters Association. They had their first kind of fan rep meeting at the FA for the Women's Game Network last week. Notes for the meeting will be coming out, they said in the next couple of weeks, but that was a week ago, so in a week or so's time. I was talking to Nick from the Wolves Women podcast, who was part of that group, went down to Wembley to meet with the FA. Didn't tell me any details, of course. They will come out in a week or so, but I'm told that the talks were very positive. So hopefully we'll see the notes from that meeting out some point between now and next week's show, and then I'll be able to have a read through them and let you know the things that are coming out from that meeting. But those are the two kind of really big bits of good news from this week's from the last 7 days, So we'll look straight now and get on with the results from the past 7 days. We'll start in the Northern Premier Division. Then AFC Fylde 2, Loughborough Lightning 2. Loughborough were 2-0 up in this one, but let's start again. Full Time says that Loughborough were 2-0 up in this one, but when you look at the timings of the goals, it's Fylde who were 2-0 up in this one. Emily Hollinshead, 22nd minute, and Faye McCoy, 34th minute. Loughborough Lightning getting two back in the second half. Ella Powell in the 56th minute and Katie Middleton in the 64th minute. One mistake for this week already on Full Time. Bomber St Michael's 1, Liverpool Feds 2. Liverpool Feds went 2-0 up in this one. Paige Cole in the 56th minute and Katie Thomas in the 65th minute before Boulmere got one back in the 82nd minute. Jade Formerston making it a very interesting final 10 minutes or so. But Liverpool Feds held on for the away win. Burnley 2, West Bromwich Albion 2. A brace for Sophie Tudor for West Brom, including one right at the end of the game as well. It looked as though West Brom were going to end up losing that game, but 2 goals for Sophie Tudor, I'd say, including one towards the end there, holding Burnley to a draw, which really suits Wolves and Nottingham Forest. Burnley 46th minute, Millie Grace Ravening, and 57th minute, Emma Taylor providing their goals in that 2-2 draw. Derby County 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 3. Goal to Derby coming to Anita Gaspar in the 62nd minute. 3 goals for Wolves, 2 for Alicia Miller coming off the substitutes bench with 20 minutes to go. Amber Hughes getting another goal for Wolves from the penalty spot, if I remember correctly, after slotting that away. But I could be wrong on that because it's not coming up on the system for me. I really do wish that penalties would go on the system, but I do seem to recall that was the case. I know Nick will correct me if I'm wrong. Huddersfield Town 4, Stoke City 3. 4 goals for Brittany Sanderson in this one for Huddersfield. 8th minute, 21st minute, 35th minute and 51st minute. That's after they fell behind to Stoke after Rosie Axton put Stoke in front in the 6th minute, but that didn't last very long. Callum Barber in the 25th minute made it 2-2 before Brittany Sanderson got her hat-trick. A minute after Sanderson got her hat-trick, Holly Gibson was sent off for Stoke, who had to play 55 minutes with 10. They did get one back, Naomi Bedu, in the 77th minute to make it 4-3, but Huddersfield held on for all 3 points in that one. And then finally in the Northern Premier Division, Forest with their second 3-1 win in as many games, this time against Brighouse Town. Imogen Portis-Williams getting the Brighouse Town goal. And then Forest goals coming to Neve Reynolds on the 30th minute. And then a penalty to Charlotte Steggall's 64th minute. And Hayley James in the 85th minute, giving Forest the 3-1 victory. What it means for the table is a lot of movement in the Northern Premier Division table. Wolverhampton Wanderers still at the top, 22 points from their 9 games. After Burnley were held to that draw, though, Forest move up to second because of their goal difference. They're on 19 points, but they have a game in hand over Wolves. But Wolves have a goal difference that is 19. Forest's goal difference is 15. So even if Forest win that game in hand, you'd think that Wolves would just about stay top on goal difference. Of course, a lot could change between now and the time that Forest actually play that game in hand. So Burnley dropped down to 3rd on 19 points from 9 games. Huddersfield Town are up to 4th. They're on 14 points. There's a 5-point gap, but Huddersfield have a game in hand as well. But so they are on the same amount of games as Forest and 5 points behind them. Stoke City are in 5th. They're down a place. They're on 13 points and have played 9. AFC Fylde are in 6th. They're up a place on 11 points. Derby down a place in 7th on 10 points. Liverpool Feds up 2 places. They're in 8th on 9 points. West Bromwich Albion in 9th on 9 points. Brighouse Town now in 10th with 7 points and above the relegation zone. But Boldmere St Michael's on 6 points now. And they have a game in hand over Brighouse Town and West Bromwich Albion. Brighouse Town looks the more likely team that they would leapfrog because of goal difference should they win that game in hand. That game in hand I do believe is against Forest though. And Loughborough Lightning at the bottom of the table, 1 point from their 7 games. So all change in the midfield, teams kind of jumping one up and over the other, but you are starting to see already, particularly if Forest are to win that game in hand, teams at the top, Wolves, Forest, Burnley, starting to pull themselves away from the rest of the field. Let's have a look at the Southern Premier Division then. Bridgewater United 0, Gillingham 1. So just a lone goal here for Gillingham. Phoebe Leach in the 24th minute, giving them the 3 points. Same scoreline for Cheltenham Town away at Crawley Wasps. Great work from Cheltenham so far this season. Henna Butcher, 5 minutes after the break, giving them the win. Ipswich Town 5, Milton Keynes Dons 1. Ipswich were 3-0 up at half-time in this one. Freya Godfrey with a goal, Natasha Thomas with a goal, Bonnie Elizabeth Horwood with a brace, and Abigail Lafayette getting one off the substitutes bench for Ipswich. Leonie Misselli getting the only goal for Milton Keynes Dons as they lose by 5-1. Watford, a 4-0 win away at London Bees. Florence Fife in the 31st minute, Poppy Wilson in the 47th, Gemma Davison in the 75th, and a penalty to Helen Ward in the 86th minute for Watford, giving them a convincing 4-0 victory. Oxford United 2-0 winners over Portsmouth, a brace for Carly Johns on the half-hour mark and 10 minutes from time, mean that Oxford get another 3 points. And an away victory for Billericay Town. Jay Blackie with the only goal of the game in that one. So pretty low scoring in many of the games in the Southern Premier Division this week. Let's take a look at the Southern Premier Division table then. Watford at the top, a point clear of Oxford United, but with a 5-goal difference advantage as well. Portsmouth, Ipswich Town and Billericay Town remain in 3rd, 4th and 5th. They're all on 13 points, as are Cheltenham Town, who are upper place. They're in 6th, also on 13 points. So the top 5 is as you were. Gillingham are the big movers. They're 3 places up in 7th after that victory. They're on 10 points from their 7 games. London Bees down a couple of places, also on 10 points. Bridgewater United down a place, as are MK Dons in 9th and 10th. But the bottom 2 of Plymouth Argyle and Crawley Wasps remain the same. Just the top tier, just tier 3 this week because of the FA Cup 3rd qualifying round, which is what we're going to have a look at now. This is going to take a while because we've got 5 pages of these to go through, and they're not really in order on full time, so it'll take me a little bit of time to find them. Because even though some of the games were played on Friday or Saturday, they've all just been put down as 2 o'clock on Sunday on here, so bear with me a bit. But we'll start then at the top, where Stourbridge beat 7th tier Newcastle Town by 11-0. Goals in this one coming to Lilybeth Bounds, in stoppage time at the end of the first half. There's then 4 goals for Neve DC, 30th, 72nd, 84th and 91st, a hat-trick for Lindsay Glover, 25th, 49th and 59th, and a goal each for Alex Nicklin, Millie Rogers and Amber Irrison Lawrence. Is that all 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, it is. All 11 goals for Stourbridge. Then on Saturday, Swindon Town beat Poulton Rovers by 10-0. 4 goals for Annabelle Colston, 2nd, 36th, 52nd and 70th minute. A brace for Megan Attenborough, 39th and 58th. And then Catherine Back, 20th. Helena Diaz-Butcher, 34th. And Victoria Taylor, 77th. That is only 9 of the 10 goals. And a penalty to Gipsy Vivesh in the 88th minute made it 10-0 to Swindon. Back then into kind of Sunday 2 o'clock kickoffs. So this is the rest of them. You can see, if you're watching the video version, the tiers for the teams are down the side as well. There's been a couple of shocks, but only 1 or 2. So York City beating Ponteland United by 3-1 as it is on full time. I had it as 3-0 on the Women's FA website, but that's an entirely new thing, which I'll come on to when I get to that game as well, because that's an entirely different kettle of fish with wrong scores and wrong teams. It was a bit ridiculous. See, the Women's FA Cup website has it as 3-0. Full-time has it as 3-1. So you're there going, well, one of them's definitely wrong, and you don't know who to trust, essentially. So we'll go actually on the York City Twitter account and see what That goes, okay, it was 3-1. So ignore my graphic and ignore the FA and listen to full time because full time was correct on this occasion. 3-1 the score to York City. 2 for Alice Hughes, 16th and 51st minute, and Jess Holder, 87th minute, providing the goals for that one for York City. Newcastle United put 12 past Gateshead Rutherford Ladies. Okay, 5 braces here. Katie Barker, Daisy Charlotte Burt, Ellie Dobson, Georgia Gibson and Charlotte Potts all got 2 goals each. Lauren Robson and Amy Hargrave also getting a goal as Newcastle win by 12 goals to 0. Leeds United of the 4th tier beat South Shields 5-1. Goals in this one, 32nd minute Bridie Hannon, 36th minute Sarah Danby, 44th minute Danielle Whittam, 52nd minute Ayala Nolan and 76th minute Olivia Smart. Then we go into Wakefield against Hull City. Hull City, again, 5-1 winners, but no information about the goal scorers from Hull City. Merseyrail, a convincing victory over 7th tier Brighouse Sports, a 7-0 win. Goals in this one, Courtney Jevons in the 2nd minute, Erin Slade in the 8th minute, Charlotte Cloy in the 40th minute, Erin Slade in the 39th minute, then Charlotte Cloy in the 40th minute, Elise Newby in the 45th minute, so 5-0 up at half time, Merseyrail were. And then second half, it's Eleanor Lambert in the 68th minute, just 5 minutes after coming on as a substitute, and Emma Lysons in the 85th minute. And then Middlesbrough, 12-1 winners over Darlington of the 7th tier as well. A hat-trick for Jessica Dawson and for Abby Harland. A brace for Amber Rogers and Francesca Ward. Jessica Met and Simone Laverick also getting goals for Middlesbrough. Second page then, and here is one of the upsets in the third round. Actually, I think it was the only upset, but I will check that as we go through. Trying to rack my brains here. Alnwick Town beating Chorley by 3-1. 5th tier Alnwick Town after getting relegated from Division 1 North last season. Jessica Gillen with Chorley's goal in the 80th minute, but no information about Alnwick Town, of course. Stockport County beating Outofs by 3-1. Goals in this one, Emily Bradshaw, 54th minute. Maria Figueiredo in the 77th minute and Kenzie Bentley in the 86th minute. That's after Outofs were 1-0 up at half time. So Stockport turned that one around. Curzon Ashton and Norton Stockton Ancients tied 1-1. Norton Stockton Ancients winning 4-2 in the penalty shootout. Bianca Owens in the 60th minute with Norton Stockton Ancients goal. They then go on, as I said, to win in the penalty shootout. Blackburn Community 0, Barnsley 6. Goals in this one. We're missing a goal somewhere. We'll come back to. It was a penalty to Jodie McCowsher. That's so a brace for her. Courtney Cosmore, Rebecca Fevers, Natalie Shaw and Holly Findlay with the others. Right, Bradford City 2, Preston North End 0. 2 goals for Charlotte Stewart in that one for Bradford. Durham Sestra 6, Mossley Hill 0. Durham Sestra, a hat-trick for Amy Richardson, 11th, 53rd, 88th minute. And then Rebecca Bell, 44th minute, Jordan Atkinson, 49th minute, and Lily Patrick, 75th minute off the substitutes bench. Lincoln United against Northampton Town, postponed because of the weather. They will now play this weekend. So anyone you see where it's been postponed, they will play this weekend. This is where it's all going to start to get messy, but I'll come on to that more when we look at the fixtures. Right, Lincoln City 1, Sheffield 3. We're not onto the third page of results yet. Lincoln City 1, Sheffield 3. No information from Sheffield yet, but Lincoln's goal scored by Leah Hardy, but Lincoln City out of the FA Cup. Right, third round. Right, Long Eaton United, Leafield Athletic postponed. Wemtown, Chesterfield also postponed. Doncaster Rovers Bells 7, Leicester City 1. Hat-trick for Sophie Scargill for Doncaster, plus Olivia Harness, Otandika Laki, Nadia Khan and Eliza Bedford with Doncaster's 7 goals. Then we go to Peterborough United against Mansfield Town, a 3-1 victory for Peterborough. Jessica Driscoll, 35th minute. Tara Kirk, 74th minute. Cassie Stewart, 78th minute. Getting Peterborough past Mansfield. Solihull Moors 7, Arnold Eagles 0. Braces for Zoe Creaney, Rebecca Knight and Lindsay Ross Baker. And a goal for Cheyenne Jarvis as well. 7-0 convincing victory over 5th tier Arnold Eagles. Sporting Cowser 3, Leek Town 0. So in an all 4th tier affair, it's Sporting Cowser who come out on top. Rebecca Hall in the 57th minute and Isabel Austin Short, 68th and 88th minute, getting Sporting Cowser through. London Seaward St Ives Town postponed. Colney Heath Cambridge City postponed. On to page 4, Bedford #United postponed. Abingdon 2, Southampton Women's 2. Southampton Women's win 5-4 on penalties, although full time says 4-3 on penalties. 2 goals for Southampton women coming to Gabriella Tucknam in the half time was 2-1, so 1 each half for Southampton women. So Abingdon in front at half time, but Southampton women peg them back and then take it in the penalty shootout. Cheshire United 5, Penn and Tyler's Green 0. Hat-trick for Gemma Fraser and 1 for Emma Delves and Rebecca Blore, putting Cheshire past Penn and Tyler's Green of the 6th tier. QPR against Wimbledon postponed. Hounslow against Clapton postponed. So Moneyfields 2, Hastings United 0. 6th minute, Kimberly Whitcomb opening the scoring for Moneyfields, and that's the only information that's on there, so not sure about the second goal. Actonians 4, Ashford Town 1. Actonians then again winning the all 4th tier tie in that one. So Natsumi Kano in the 5th minute opened the scoring. They then were 3-0 up at half time. Miller de Santos 44th and Maria Ledsma-Vismo 45th minute. Then Ashford got one back. Lavanna Neufeld in the 55th minute, but then de Santos got her second of the game in the 65th minute to make it 4-1. And then a sticker of the 6th tier losing by 7-1 to Portishead Town. No information about that game at all on full time, but Portishead Town winning by 7-1. Final page. Here we've got Frampton Rangers 1, AFC St Austell 0. So AFC St Austell losing to 6th tier Frampton Rangers. There's the other upset from this weekend's fixtures. Keynsham Town 3, Larkhall Athletic 1. 7th minute, Nadine Grogan. 18th minute, Corinne Yorston. And 77th minute, Naomi Clipston lifted Keynsham past Larkhall Athletic. And Downton Flyers losing by 10-0 to Cardiff City. Cardiff City goals, a hat-trick for Corey Williams and for Laura Williams, and goals for Ellie Sargent, Chloe Lloyd, Kerry Bartlett and Grace Harrell. Bournemouth 5-1 winners over Forest Green Rovers. 4 goals on here. We've got Lucy Cooper 23rd minute, Holly Humphreys 33rd minute, Katie James 57th and Helen Blizzard in the 58th. An opposition own goal in the 3rd minute put Bournemouth in front in that one. Exeter City 12-0 winners over Saltash United, although you wouldn't know it if you looked at the FA website because they had Saltash United winning 2-1 in this one. And not only did that mistake not get corrected straight away, but they even put out the first round proper draw with Saltash United in it. Well done, FA. Exeter City then, they won by 12-0. 5 goals for Connie Pengelly in the 11th, 12th, 37th, 58th and 64th minute. Chloe Gilroy in the 20th minute. Emily Eaton in the 34th minute. Manfi Sharp in the 31st minute. Sorry, missed that one. Emily Toogood in the 60th minute. Phoebe Baker 69th. Jenna Markham 76th and Stephanie Beck 77th. 12-0 Exeter City beat Saltash. Fulham 3, Maidenhead United 2, another result where the side at the bottom, lower down, beat the side from the FA Women's National League. 3-2 Fulham win, but no information as of yet. Norwich City 4, Cambridge United 1. So yet another victory. Norwich City is the result up at the top of full time there. Ellie Smith, Natasha Snelling and Megan Todd getting 3 of their goals and a penalty to Rebecca Russell as well. And then Ruth Fox getting the only goal for Cambridge United. And finally, for the FA Cup, Dorking Wanderers 0, Chelsea 1. Megan Fox a minute into the second half, giving the only goal of the game for Chelsea, and they win by a goal to 0. So that is all of the results. Well, it's not all of the results from the FA Cup third round qualifying, because we've got some that are taking place this weekend, all of those postponed ones. So that is the situation with the FA Cup. It went almost without a hitch. The weather played a part, and then some admin errors played a part as well. But you know, what can you do? It has been corrected now by the time that this show goes out. So let's have a look at some of the fixtures, and I'll explain why everything's starting to get a little bit messy. Okay, I'm going to start with the FAWNL Cup, which first round is this weekend. But as you can see, some of the fixtures have already been postponed. That is because the FA Cup takes priority over the League Cup, and those games that were postponed last weekend that I've just spoken about in the FA Cup are being played this weekend, which means the games in the League Cup are being pushed back to the next weekend, and it basically just keeps doing that all the way through. Now, some teams are able to get league games in this weekend because their ties in the Cup, either they were out in the preliminary round and their opponents are now not playing because the opponents that their opponents should be playing are now playing in the FA Cup. So they're getting a league fixture in, or both of them are in this situation where they can't play their cup game. So there are a few league fixtures, but those have been on again, off again. Like Ipswich against Watford was put in on Monday. It was taken out again yesterday. It's all a complete mess. So FA Women's National League Cup first round. This is the round of 32. Excuse me. Wimbledon against Watford postponed because Wimbledon have got to play QPR in the Cup. Cardiff City against Actonians. Chorley take on Derby County. Durham Cestra against Merseyrail. Ipswich against United postponed because are in the FA Cup still. Liverpool Feds against Burnley. London Bees against Keynsham Town. And London Steward against Plymouth Argyle has been postponed. Loughborough Lightning take on Huddersfield Town. Middlesbrough against York City. Milton Keynes Dons against Gillingham. Norton and Stockton Ancients against Nottingham Forest. Oxford United against Bridgewater United. Now, Portsmouth against Larkhall Athletic. Portsmouth have been given a home walkover in this one. Larkhall Athletic withdrawing from the Cup. Now, they're out the FA Cup as well, which doesn't bode well for Larkhall Athletic. Of course, we don't know the details of that as of yet, but Larkhall Athletic have withdrawn from the Cup. Now, so they could play this weekend because they got knocked out of the FA Cup, but being in 11th in Division 1 Southwest, they haven't won a game all year. They don't have a point yet this year. Obviously, they did win in the determining round to get into the Cup, but they've now pulled out of the Cup, which is a bit concerning. But Portsmouth already through into the second round of the Cup without having to play, which means they're now available to play in the league this weekend. Stockport County against Stoke City, and Wolverhampton Wanderers take on Brighouse Town. Don't forget that the Cup is still split north and south at this point, as is the plate. AFC Fylde against Doncaster Rovers Bells. Ashford Town take on AFC Bournemouth. Bradford City against Hull City. Cambridge United and Cambridge City postponed because of the FA Cup. Cheltenham Town against AFC St Austell is going ahead. Hounslow, of course, have got to play Clapton Community in the Cup, so Southampton women's trip to there is postponed. Leeds United against Solihull Moors and Maidenhead United against Billericay Town all taking place. Northampton Town against Lincoln City postponed. Norwich City against Crawley Wasps. Peterborough United and Wem Town and Queen's Park Rangers and Portishead Town are both postponed as well. Chelsea against Swindon Town goes ahead, as does Sporting Cowser against Boldmere St Michael's. Stourbridge's game against Leaford Athletic is postponed because Leaford Athletic have got to play their FA Cup game again. And Leek Town against West Bromwich Albion is going ahead, but is a 3 o'clock start, not a 2 o'clock start. So with all that in mind, I'm just going to give you a bit of a rundown of the cups. I'll go back to this screen for the moment. I'll give you a rundown of all the cups because it is possible that teams are not going to play a league game again between now and Christmas. Now, I imagine that the vast majority of them will, but here is the schedule for the remainder of the 2022 year. So you've either got FA Cup or League Cup this weekend. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you've got the FA Cup this weekend. Next weekend, the 6th, is either League or League Cup, depending on what you're doing. So you could be FA Cup this weekend, then League Cup. 13th of November is FA Cup Round 1. 20th of November is County Cup. 27th of November is FA Cup Round 2. The 4th of December is League Cup Round 2. The 11th of December is FA Cup Round 3. And then the 18th of December is the league again. Now, you've got there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cup games in a row, potentially. And all it needs is the weather to call one of those off for everything to push back and you not get that league fixture in just before Christmas. So you could not play a league fixture between now and Christmas. You'd have to go far in all of the cups, granted. But some teams, most of them will start playing league fixtures again because the League Cup after the first round and the second round will be, well, the second round will be down to 16 teams. So there you're in 32 teams across both the competitions, and we've got 71 teams in the division. So 40 teams won't be involved in the League Cup. But some teams might not play in the league again between now and Christmas. On that note, Derby County, who at the moment are away, they're away in the Cup this weekend to Chorley, and they are away in the FA Cup first round, that's against Stoke City. They've got a away league game, which is currently scheduled in against West Bromwich Albion next weekend. As it is at the moment, Derby do not have a scheduled home game until March the 5th. 5 months of away games. Chorley in the Cup this weekend. West Bromwich Albion in the league away on the 6th. Then the FA Cup against Stoke on the 13th. Now, of course, you've got there Cup and Plate competitions and FA Cup Round 2, should they get past Stoke or what have you, that they could draw a home game. But as it stands at the moment, from the 13th of November, away to Stoke, then don't have a league game scheduled until the 8th of January, which is away at Burnley, then away at Liverpool Feds, then away at Boldmere, then away at Loughborough, and then away at Fylde. And their next home game is scheduled for the 5th of March against Stoke City. So that's a long, long time to play away from home. Obviously, they played so many home games to start the season. I mean, if you look at the Northern Division table, for example, if I just have a look back at the table, Derby have got 14 games to play. They've played 8. So they've got 14 league games left to play. And of those, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are at home. So they've played, by my maths, 7 of their 8 games at home. 6 of their 8 Northern Premier Division games have been at home. So they have played a lot at home to start the season. They're now not due to be at home unless they get a cup draw until the 5th of March. Right, as I mentioned, some teams are in league action this weekend. Let's have a look at the Southern Premier Division. Just one. Plymouth Argyle against Portsmouth, because Portsmouth are through. They're not in the cup because they got that home walkover. And Plymouth aren't playing either, so they've been able to come together and they're going to play a league game. Plymouth down in 11th, but can get themselves out of the bottom 2 with a win. Portsmouth can't go any higher because they're 5 points back from the top 2, but they could drop a place if Plymouth was to beat them by 5 goals and lower their goal difference. But it's likely that Portsmouth will remain in 3rd, whatever happens at the weekend. Plymouth could get themselves out of the bottom 2. In Division 1 North, Newcastle United are taking on Barnsley. Newcastle United in 4th at the moment, Barnsley in 3rd. Either side could go top of the table with a big win. Division 1 Midlands, Stourbridge against Sheffield. Will Stourbridge be able to increase that gap even further? It could go to 12 points at the top of the table this weekend. They will have played 3 games more than the teams chasing them, though. But, they are still net at the top of the table. Even if Doncaster Rovers Bells win all their games in hand, Stourbridge are still 3 points at the top of the table as things stand. Sheffield are in 7th. They could go up a place with a win, but the 7th or 6th is likely for Sheffield at the end of the weekend. Finally, Division 1 South West, one game tonight where Swindon Town take on Maidenhead United. Swindon Town in 7th, Maidenhead United in 10th, yet to get off the mark. And then at the weekend, there's one, Southampton Women's against Moneyfields. That's 5th against 6th. A win for either side could lift them up to 4th. As I said, they're currently in 5th and 6th. So that'll do it for this week's Women's Football Chat. Plenty of news to get through. As you can see, it's all going to get a bit messy because if the rain starts to play havoc with any games this weekend, then things really are going to start to get difficult, and fitting cup and league fixtures in is going to get very messy and awkward. But we'll cover you and keep you up to date with everything across the 3rd and 4th tiers of women's football in England here on the Women's Football Chat. Thank you very much for watching and or listening to this week's show. As always, keep supporting your local women's football team. Goodbye.